We could start from maybe from what you understand. Where did grandma and grandpa come from? You can start from the childhood. You can start from when they got married. Wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, your grandpa, he was born in Rome Palacio, Mexico, and grandma was born in Torreon, Coahuila, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandpa, we'll talk about grandpa first. He was, his mother left him when he was small. And she took off and left him with his father. And his father used to go to work, so he would leave him in the house by himself. He was barely crawling, and he was still in a diaper. So this lady used to come and give him to eat. Through under the door, she would give him food to eat. And when my grandpa, his father, used to come home, he was all full of poop, all had to give him a bath because he didn't have nobody to take care of him. And then when he started growing up, at grandpa's side, at my grandpa's, at his father's side, he grew up, and he used to say that he used to take off from school with his friends to go to a river to take a bath. And one time my grandpa went in, he was ready to go like this to throw himself in the water, and he got a slap in the butt, and he pushed him in the water. He got all scared. And then, but that was the last time he took off from school. And then one time this lady told him Mitchell, because they used to call him Mitchell when he was a little boy.
Why was that?
Just a nickname. So the Remigio, they used to call him Remigio. But people for sure they would call him Mitchell. And then I said, come and see, I want you to meet someone. He was already 16 when my grandma went back looking for him. And then she said, do you recognize this lady? He said no. And then the lady told, well, this is your mother. And he said that he just looked at her, but he didn't tell her nothing. Because she took off and left him, And after when she grew up and he got married and everything, she came back again to his life. But my dad met my mama. And my mama, her mother died when she was little, when she was a little girl. Mm-hmm. So she never knew her mom. And her father, he is the one that they grew up with her father, Abuelita, mm-hmm. Magdalena. And when she was telling us, she used to tell us a lot of stories that she told one time when they were coming by Ciudad Jimenez. They used to travel in horses, And my abuelito told her she was on top of the burra, not horses, burros. And she was on top of the burro, and my abuelito told me, mija, don't fall asleep because you're gonna fall off the burro. And then the coyote is gonna come and eat you up. And then she said, oh, Daddy, I already saw the coyote. And then he said, what color was it? He said, green. My abuelita, I was seeing green coyotes. And then they kept traveling like that, and that's when they met Pancho Villa, you know. My abuelito talked to Pancho Villa.
And that was on Grandma's side?
Yeah, my abuelito, my grandpa.
So Grandma's father?
Yeah.
Okay.
He met Pancho Villa coming in, and he thought that he was going to take him with him, because he used to take the men to go and fight for him, you know, with him. And you know, he let him go. He told him, where you go? He said, we're going to Chihuahua. And then he said, who's all this? He said, they're all my family. I don't have my wife. I have my children, myself. It's just my children and myself. So he didn't make him go with them. But my dad, he did. And when he grew up, Pancho Villa took him with him to fight with him. But my dad didn't want to go because he used to be rough. He didn't like the way that he was, you know, with other people, you know. So my dad was hiding under the hay. The hay they used to stand it up like this, and they used to tie it in top. So he went and hiding inside the hay. My grandma, by then my grandma was already, oh no, that was before they got married. My grandma used to go and take him to eat, you know, in there. He met her in, when he was 16, and when he was 18, that's when he was, Pancho Villa wanted to take him, and he did take him, but he escaped. He took out from there.
So Grandpa was an orphan until he was 16 because the mom left him, and then she came back when he was 16, and at 18 is when he was hiding from Pancho Villa, and his mother was feeding him inside the haystacks.
Yeah, she would go at night and give him to eat. He would go all day with her eating until the night when she used to go and feed him. That was 2 years later after he met her, you know?
Right.
Because she left him when he was a little baby. When he wasn't even walking yet.
Right.
And then she came back when he was 16.
Did he ever say why she left?
Mama used to tell me that she took off with another man. My grandma was a very beautiful lady, you know. And volada too, you know, because she took off with another man and left her son, you know.
And what did Grandpa ever tell you the name of his mother? Your grandma?
Yeah.
What was the name?
Bonnie.
Bonnie, oh, okay.
Bonifacia Landeros.
Landeros.
She was from Spain. She was Spanish.
So she had Spanish blood?
Yeah, she was pretty. I still have a picture of her. And,
so at one time then, Grandpa and Grandma met Pancho Villa, both of them?
no,
But Grandma never met Pancho Villa?
Grandma met him. She met the coyotes too. She didn't meet him. She was little.
She was too small. Right, okay.
She was small. And so, but she remembers that my grandpa and them were walking, were going from one town to another, and then the Pancho Villa stopped them.
Right.
And he asked them questions, and he asked them where they were going.
Right.
So he told them they were going from Torreon, Coahuila, that's where I was born. to Chihuahua. Chihuahua is a state, and Chihuahua is the city.
Right.
That's where they have the head of Pancho Villa. You know that?
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, they have it in the museum. And, because the white people, they got him and they killed him. And they put his head in, that's where they have it.
So that was, around that time Grandpa was 18, Grandma was still small. Were there any other events that happened after, before they met?
Well, I don't remember, but I think that my grandfather, my dad's dad, she got together with this other lady, and my dad had a brother and a sister. See? They were half brother and half sister. They were from my grandpa, but they weren't from my grandma. They were from another woman.
Right. They were like half brothers.
Yeah.
And what was the father's name?
My grandpa was...
Was it Leonardo or Leo?
No, I can't remember his name. Right now I can't remember his name.
So,
maybe Marion remembers.
How did Grandma and Grandpa meet?
Well, she said she told me that she met him, but she didn't tell me how they met, and I don't remember how they met. But that my dad was living with this lady, with this woman.
Right.
She was older. She was already older. He was living with this lady, and that lady had a boy and a girl from him. But he left that woman for Mama because he loved her. He said that he wanted to marry her, and they got married. But my daddy, when he was in the world, he was real mean. He used to drink, and he used to get real mean, and he used to mistreat Mama a lot, you know.
When they first met, when they first got married.
When they first got married. They didn't have none of us.
My mom told me one time a story that Grandpa was a clown in the circus.
Yeah. When they got married, after they got married, like my dad and Mama went to work in a circus.
A traveling circus?
And that's why they like to travel, you know, because they travel a lot with the circus. My dad was a clown, and Mama used to sell the tickets.
Oh.
And they worked with them for a long time, and then after that, they stopped working with the circus. It was the circus, I think Circus Vargas or something.
Okay.
And that one's been for a long time.
Right.
The Circus Vargas been on for a long time.
So that was like in the 1930s, maybe?
In the around there.
Around 1930s. And did they have kids around this time?
No.
Why don't you
My dad has somebody with the other woman.
Well, Grandma and Grandpa, when did they have the first child?
Benigno, Uncle Benigno was born in 1933 or 34.
So it was close to when they were working in the circus, around this.
No, that
maybe.
was after.
Okay.
What happened that Uncle Benigno was born here in the United States. See, what happened is after they left the circus, they got a burrita, and they started traveling by themselves.
A donkey?
Yeah. They used to travel by themselves, and they had blankets and a pan and something to make coffee, something small, just to make eggs and beans, not too many things.
Right.
And they were traveling wherever the donkey used to go to in the morning. When they will get up, the donkey will go that way, they will go that way. If the donkey went the other way, they will go the other way, So one time, they said that one time in the night they stopped to rest and they put their bed to go to bed. In the morning, when Mama was picking up the blankets, there was a dead snake under the blankets. They slept on top of a snake. Imagine how God saved them from that,
And this is before they were in church?
God saved them from that snake,
Right.
God had a plan for them, and God saved them, and then they said that they used to go all over. They went all over Mexico, and then my tia and my tío, Mama's sister and her brother-in-law,
What were the
they
names?
used to travel with them.
What were their names?
My tío Jose and my tia Luisa.
That's through grandma's side? So they're Cervantes?
Well, Cervantes was my abuelito. Era mi tío Jose. No, I don't remember his last name, but Mama's sister's name was Luisa Cervantes. That was her middle sister.
Okay, the
one in the middle.
Right.
The one next to her. Before her, I mean. And they used to travel with them, and then my tío and my tia, I'll give you the name later because I have it at home.
Right.
And then one time they got separated. My tia didn't want to keep traveling, so Mama and my dad kept traveling by themselves. So they came to the border. In those days, there were just a man and 2 men there in the border. There was a wire, and they were on this side of the wire, the immigration, with a table there. And they stopped and said, "Where you go?" I said, "Well, we're just traveling." He said, "You want to come to the United States?" They asked Mama and Dad. And they didn't have kids. They said, "Yeah." So they did. So they asked them for their names and everything, and they gave them a paper, and they came to the United States. And they started traveling here in the United States. And then they were over there in Texas. That's where your Uncle Benigno was born.
So when they came over, when they met with the Border Patrol, Grandma was pregnant at the time?
I guess she was pregnant. But she wasn't that much, I don't know if she was pregnant or not, but she had that manual here in the United States.
But it wasn't planned. They didn't come over here. It just came.
No, they were
just traveling.
They were young.
Yeah.
They weren't thinking about,
right,
coming to a state to have a child,
Right.
In those days, and then in those days, they were just a wire. Mama said there were just some wires like that dividing Mexico from the United States. And there were no house or nothing, just a table there with a shade, and those men were sitting there. That's all. And so they were all over the place. That was around 1933 when Uncle Benigno was born. So wouldn't it be something if you could find it on our history?
Yeah.
If you could find their record.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if they would have it, you know.
So
But
then when they came over and he was born, did they stay here or did they go back?
after when you was born, they kept staying here for a while, and then they went to the border. And Mama said that she got the paper and she told the white guy, "Here's your paper, we're going to Mexico." And then they threw the paper there, they took off to Mexico.
So they didn't really like it here in the
You
United
know,
States?
just because they didn't know the people, you know.
Right.
They didn't know anybody here. In Mexico, they had everybody over there, you know.
So Uncle Manuel was the firstborn. He was the oldest. Who was next? Who was the second? Abel?
No, they had other kids. No, it wasn't Manuel. It was well, I have besides Manuel, we had a sister Esther, Jemima, Mary. ¿Cómo se llamaban las otras hijas de mi daddy y mi mamá? Las que murieron.
Jemima,
Y Esther,
Esther, Jemima, y there was a third one.
I know there were 4 girls.
Mm-hmm.
Before 3 girls before Manuel,
Mm-hmm.
and then Manuel, and then another girl, and then she died.
So the 3 girls before, they just passed away when they were children? Or 4 girls before Manuel?
There was 3 girls,
Mm-hmm.
and then Manuel was born, and then another girl was born, but she died.
They were just sick?
Huh?
They were just sick?
Yeah. One of them, somebody made an ojo that Mama said.
Right.
They said, you know what ojo means? When people like something and their vision is too strong that they could, the babies get sick and they get a lot of temperature and they die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to her, you know? And Esther, she died with some kind of fever. I don't know what kind of fever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, I can't remember her name.
And that was the third one.
There was 4 girls.
Right. And they were sick, fever, and they died.
Uh-huh.
And the one after Manuel, same thing. And who was after that? Abel, you said?
And Abel, and then Smiley, and then me. And when I was a little girl, I got real sick too, you know. And I died.
Mm-hmm.
I died, but the hermanos prayed for me, you know. My dad was he was traveling with Brother Rivas and Brother Ortega.
Mm-hmm.
They used to, Brother Ortega, Brother Rivas, they used to be in travel in Mexico to visit in the churches over there. And my dad was an anciano over there. And this time he went with them, and when he was with them, there was a service at church, Mama told me. And there's something that I remember too, that the hermanos were in the church, and Mama, I was sick, so Mama stayed home, and then I died. Mm-hmm. Mama told me that I died, and then when I woke up, I remember this. I don't know why I remember. God lets me remember it. When I woke up, I saw Mama right here, and she was leaning. It wasn't a mattress on the floor. There was a mattress on the floor. Mama was leaning next to me. There was hermanas leaning all around the mattress, and there's some hermanos standing around the mattress. And they pray, and then God returned me to Mama. and she was crying and crying. And then I saw her, I saw her. And she said that when they finished praying, that I was looking at her, and I was looking around. But I was looking at the hermanos, why, in my mind, I was wondering why they were looking at me. And they kept looking at me like that, down. But Mama was crying. I could hear Mama cry a lot, But God returned me to her, So then after that, I got sick again. And my dad told Mama not to give me a bath when I was hot, When it's hot, it's not good to wet yourself. Because that's how my other sister died.
Mm-hmm.
See? My other sister died because she was real hot, and Mama went and gave her a bath. And she got real sick and she died. She passed away. So my dad thought I was gonna die like them, Well, anyway.
How old were you then when all that happened?
About 3.
3. Oh.
But I remember real clear that I don't remember. I remember other thing after that.
Mm-hmm.
The Mama used to have a lot of faith in God, and the Lord used to give her a lot of power, or how do you say it, virtue. Because one time she came out of the kitchen, she was washing dishes. I remember I was already walking. Yeah, I think Mima was already born. Because Mama can't know, she was pregnant for me. I remember her tell me. And I came out with her. I was holding on to her dress. And she went and threw that water where she was washing dishes, and then she turned around. When she turned around, she saw one of the lechuzas, those witches,
Mm-hmm.
those ladies that they turn into animals to go and do wrong, the witches, brujas, they call a lechuza. So Mama looked at her, she said, en el nombre de Jesucristo te digo, lárgate de aquí en el nombre de Jesucristo. She went like that. Dijo, no tiene parte ni suerte conmigo ni con mi familia. Aléjate de aquí, Satanás. That thing took off real fast. God used Mama, She used her a lot,
Why don't we talk about how, because we spoke about how they met, how Uncle Manuel was born, when they got married. Maybe talking about now how they got converted.
Yeah, but Brother Nava.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Nava, I don't know, Brother Nava started talking to my dad about God.
Right.
See? And then after that, he got baptized. That was before that I passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I passed away, my dad was a pastor in Sierra Mojada, Coahuila.
Okay.
See? He was already a pastor there. But Brother Tega, Brother Riva used to go over there, and he used to go with them to visit the churches in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he would take months to come back, They used to work. In those days, the hermanos used to work, They used to do their job like the Bible says, And he used to go for months, 2 or 3 months, he would be away from home, But when my dad got converted, he heard the word from Mama Nava,
Mm-hmm.
and then after he got baptized, then Mama, this hermano Nava's son, he went down Mama's house, and my mom was by herself. My dad was preaching, he was out visiting the hermanos, And in those days, the hermanos, they used to get together. Well, I'll tell you about this first. Over there in Mexico one day, the hermanos, they were real poor. But they used to go every Sunday. They would take some food. Mama and my dad, they made boxes like the thing right there, out of wood, and they would put beans, a lot of beans and rice, potatoes and things like that, and coffee and sugar. And then when someone needed some food, my dad and Mama, because she was there all day, she would give them some. They make them a funnel of paper, and they will give it to the hermanos. Whatever they needed, they will give it to them. And the hermanos didn't they didn't have to tell them to bring it, They would take it on their own, because they felt that the love of God to give for the needy, And now, well, that was then, Now we don't do nothing like that.
So as pastors, Grandma and Grandpa used to, they were poor themselves, but they were helping other people.
Yeah, they were helping. They were the hermanos from the church. He used to tell them, and the hermanos used to bring it. Whenever they wanted, they would bring it, Oranges, or if they had like a ranch or something that they would plant onions, oranges, or anything they had, they would bring it to the church.
Right.
And for the other hermanos that needed it, So when the hermanos used to come during the week that they needed something, Mama would give it to them, And the hermanos were happy, Everybody was, I don't know, it was different, It's like when I saw that Brother Johnny's church, the same is. You should go there. You should go there one of these days. Brother Johnny Sanchez's church is beautiful there. Well, anyway, my dad used to take off like that with hermanos. But I forgot what I was going to tell you.
I think you were talking about Grandpa was traveling, and who was converted first?
My dad.
So then Brother Nava's son visited Grandma?
Yeah.
I think that's where you left off.
Yeah, my dad wasn't there. He was traveling with Brother Ortega, Brother Rivas.
And who was Brother Ortega? Which?
Brother Ortega, Jose Ortega.
Jose Ortega. Okay.
Jose Ortega Aguilar, I think. His brother Ben is dead.
And Brother Rivas, who was that?
Brother Hermano Rivas era el papá. He was, I think, the obispo in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
That one from the whole church in Mexico.
But they were pioneers of the apostolic churches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad used to travel with those hermanos.
With the pioneers.
Yeah, he used to work with them, all the three of them together. Sometimes my dad used to take me with them. And I would go with the three of them, My daddy loved me a lot. And I know that. I know he always loved me a lot because all my other sisters passed away, and I was the only girl, And then he would leave me with hermanos where they used to go. The hermanos used to give them room and board when they were in the conventions or in the meetings. And the hermana used to take care of me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that what my dad used to do when he used to leave the house, because I used to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
And with hermano Ortega and the hermanos. And then after that, my dad was traveling with hermanos, and I was home there. And then the hermanos, Mano Nava's son, he went over there asking for my dad. And Mama told him he's not here. And he said, well, I'll come back another day to see if he's here. So he left. And then, like my dad used to take long, he came back again the following week. And then he told, I think he just he did it on purpose. He went back and he asked Mama, where is hermano Benigno? And said, he's still not back yet. And then he said, oh, okay. He said, oh, está bueno. Okay. And then he was walking out and he saw the Virgin. The Virgin, Mama was a real Catholic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Real. The ones that crawl on their knees to go to the mountain to worship those saints, you know.
Would she crawl on her knees? Was that?
She used to. Remember a long time ago that they said that some saint appeared to someone in Mexico? And a lot of people used to crawl on their knees to go over there to see her. Mama did that too.
Mm-hmm.
She did it too. She was real Catholic.
So she was very religious
In the Catholic
Church.
But my dad was Christian.
So you said Brother Nava saw the Virgin Mary?
And then when she was walking out, he saw her right there by the door, and he told, you believe on that? And she said, yes. No, that was the first time that he went. He told her that. It was, and they said, and Mama said, yeah, mi virgencita. That's what my Mama used to call like that. Mi virgencita bonita. Dijo, you believe in God? He said, yes, pero esta es mi virgencita. This is my virgin. He said, how come last time that I was here, the first time that I came, the virgencita had a lot of shit on her face, and if she's very powerful, like you say, because you believe on her and you say she's real, she does miracles and this and that. How come she does miracles? How come she don't do a miracle and wash her face? And Mama got mad and she threw him out of there, you know. She got mad at him. And then when she left, she started thinking, you know. She said that she started thinking, yeah, if she does miracles, she is very, if she does miracles, how come she don't clean her face, you know? So next time, when my dad was already there, he went again, and the Virgin wasn't there anymore.
Mm.
And she asked to be baptized.
Oh, just like that?
She got repented, but she repented herself just by what Mano Nava told her, you know.
His son? So his Brother Nava's son was...
my Brother Nava's oldest son.
Was the one that converted Grandma.
God.